Whatever events happen in this world are always a specific message for the Jewish people. Hu Hashem Elokeinu b'chol ha'aretz mishpatav. He is Hashem, our God, and everything He does is a message coming from our God to the Jewish people. The wildfires that are ravaging Los Angeles area, that they approximate will cause about $250 billion of damage. They've destroyed about 12,000 structures. They predict it will take about 10 years to recover from. Tens of thousands of acres have been destroyed. Certainly Hashem is showing the entire world His might and His ability and His power, but it always carries a specific message for the Jewish people. One of the most important tasks a Jew has in this world is to have the attitude and the thoughts of Tzipisal Yeshua, to actively await and yearn for the coming of Mashiach. And Hashem is assisting us with this task. On Tisha B'Av, the saddest day of the Jewish calendar, we add a special tefillah in Nachem. In the bracha of Vilu Shalayim, we add a prayer called Nachem, where we talk about how Yushalayim weeps bitterly. And then we say, Ki ata Hashem bo'esh hitzata, for you Hashem, you have ignited it with fire, uva'esh ata asel of noisa, but you are destined to rebuild it with fire. Ka'amur, and then the prayer cites the pasuk in Zechariah. Va'ani eyela ne'om Hashem, I will be to her, says Hashem, choymas eish saviv, a wall of fire around her, u'lechavod eyeh b'soicha, and as an honor and a glory I will be in her midst. What exactly is this referring to? Hashem will rebuild the Beis Hamikdash in Yerushalayim with fire? You see, the pasuk before, Parak Beis pasuk Ches says, Prazois Teshav Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim will dwell as open cities. You know, when Moses Montefiore helped expand the old city of Yerushalayim, that Jews should be able to live outside of the walls, it was said this was a fulfillment of Prazois Teshav Yerushalayim, that Yerushalayim will have such strength, it won't need the walls of protection. But then, what will protect it? So Hashem says, "Va'ani eyela ne'om Hashem choymas eish saviv." I will be for Jerusalem like a wall of fire around her to protect her. In fact, the Psikta Rabasi asks that if Hashem will send His heavenly hosts to become a protective wall of fire around Yerushalayim, then how will anybody be able to enter or exit the city? Says the Psikta, in the future, the righteous Jews will be able to walk through fire like Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, who were thrown into the fire by Nebuchadnezzar. But the Gemara in Baba Kama Daf Samach goes so far as to say that Hashem has to rebuild Yerushalayim with fire. Why does Hashem have to? Because the pasuk says, Kiseit seish umatza koitzim v'nechal gadish shalem yishalem hamaver sabera. The Torah says if somebody lights a fire and it causes damage, they have to pay. Well, God observes the Torah. God was the one who set forth to the fire in Sion, like the pasuk says in Eicha, Vayatzes eish b'Tzion. So He needs to pay us back and rebuild it with fire, and indeed He will. Va'ani eyela ne'om Hashem choymas eish saviv. Hashem indeed will rebuild Yerushalayim with fire. So, from these wildfires that cause so much havoc and destruction and devastation, we can utilize the following line of reasoning. We have a tradition, God's attribute of goodness is 500 times greater than the attribute of punishment. After all, God punishes for only 4 generations, but He rewards for 2,000 generations. Lest the person think, Mashiach, redemption, Hashem's going to rebuild it with fire. Is fire that powerful? Can fire have such an effect throughout the world and throughout the universe? So Hashem is showing us the power of fire, and if this is the power of fire for destruction, for devastation, all the more so the power of fire to build and to bring redemption to the Jewish people. So these wildfires should inflame our hearts with yearning for the eish with which Hashem will use to be a choymas eish saviv u'lechavod eyeh b'soicha. They should assist us in helping us yearn for the coming of the great day, where the Navi Zechariah says, Va'ani eya la no'um Hashem chaymas eish saviv u'lechavod eya b'seicha. Wishing everyone bracha v'hatzlacha.
Recording stopped.